This is the story of Onur Aksoy, a Miami CEO who spent nearly a decade selling fake Cisco equipment as brand new. His companies took in more than $100 million, and it ended in federal prison. According to the Justice Department, counterfeit network devices were identified in U.S. military operations, including platforms supporting the F-15, F-18, and F-22. They looked brand new, sold as new and genuine on Amazon and eBay, at what the indictment called a fraction of the retail price. Behind them, the pro-network entities generated more than $100 million in revenue, and the seller had been warned. 7 cease and desist letters from Cisco itself. So how does fake hardware end up there? This is a story about labels and who checks them. This is the fake Cisco empire. Miami-based pro-network operator Onur Aksoy stood at the center of companies, storefronts, imported counterfeit equipment, and sales. Official plea materials placed 2 aliases beside his name, Ron Aksoy and Dave Durden. Aksoy used the Dave Durden identity in communications with Chinese co-conspirators and on false paperwork submitted to customs. The selling apparatus spread through at least 19 companies registered across New Jersey and Florida, collectively called the pro-network entities. Approximately 15 Amazon storefronts gave those entities a broad marketplace presence under a collection of public-facing seller names. At least 10 eBay storefronts added another marketplace-facing layer to the same network of companies and seller identities. Behind those listings, the typical product chain began with older or lower-model Cisco routers and switches, network equipment sometimes previously sold or discarded. Chinese counterfeiters modified that older equipment until it resembled newer, genuine models from the established networking brand. Inside the altered devices, pirated Cisco software added another counterfeit layer beneath the newly upgraded appearance. Counterfeiters also installed components intended to circumvent Cisco software license checks and technological measures used to authenticate the hardware. Counterfeit labels, stickers, boxes, and documentation completed the disguise. The altered devices now looked new, genuine, high quality, and factory sealed. Aksoy admitted under oath that he knowingly resold tens of thousands of fraudulent and counterfeit devices as new, genuine, high-quality Cisco equipment. The indictment alleged that counterfeit products sold at only a fraction of Cisco's suggested retail price. More than $100 million in revenue made the coming trail of warnings even harder to comprehend. According to the criminal complaint, CBP first seized a counterfeit Cisco shipment tied to Aksoy's operation around February 2014. That seizure came near the start of the later admitted conspiracy, which spanned 2013 through 2022. According to the Justice Department, CBP seized approximately 180 shipments from China and Hong Kong between 2014 and 2022. The count measured intercepted shipments, not individual devices, sent from China and Hong Kong to the pro-network entities. According to the indictment, Aksoy stored CBP seizure notices in an office binder bearing a restricted access warning. To reduce CBP scrutiny, suppliers divided shipments into smaller parcels and shipped them on different days. For another layer of distance, Aksoy used a fake Ohio delivery address to reduce customs scrutiny. From 2014 through 2019, Cisco sent 7 cease and desist letters into the same widening enforcement record. Those letters were private legal warnings from the brand itself, separate from the border seizures stacking up at customs. Aksoy responded to at least 2 Cisco letters with forged documents transmitted to the company through his attorney. Nothing in the record establishes that the attorney knew the documents were forged. After CBP seizures, Aksoy often continued ordering more counterfeit product from the very same supplier behind the intercepted goods. 5 federal agencies investigated the case. But before the takedown, one question mattered more. Where had the counterfeits already landed? According to the Justice Department, customers for Aksoy's counterfeit devices included hospitals, schools, government agencies, and the military. According to the Justice Department, the devices were also identified in combat and non-combat operations of the U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, and U.S. Army, such as platforms supporting the F-15, F-18, and F-22 fighter jets, AH-64 Apache attack helicopter, P-8 maritime patrol aircraft, and B-52 Stratofortress bomber aircraft. According to DCIS Special Agent in Charge Brian D. Denny, counterfeit devices were found in F-15 and P-8 flight simulators. Some products failed or malfunctioned, causing substantial network or operational damage for users. The court later recognized purchasers as crime victims directly and proximately harmed by the offenses of conviction. According to DOJ, agents seized counterfeit devices during a July 2021 search of Aksoy's Doral warehouse. DOJ put the warehouse seizure at approximately 1,956 counterfeit devices, separate from the earlier border seizures. The government stated a retail value above $7 million for those devices, not cash or sales proceeds. According to DOJ, Aksoy was charged by criminal complaint and arrested in Miami on June 29, 2022. The federal indictment against Aksoy was returned in the District of New Jersey on July 7, 2022. The indictment charged 11 counts. On June 5, 2023, Aksoy pleaded guilty to just 2: conspiracy and mail fraud. 2 counts: conspiracy and mail fraud, guilty. On May 1, 2024, Judge Peter G. Sheridan imposed sentence in the District of New Jersey. The court sentenced Aksoy to 78 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Under the plea agreement, Aksoy agreed to pay Cisco $100 million in restitution, with other victims handled separately. The accepted plea agreement separately required a $15 million forfeiture obligation from the scheme's illicit gains. Aksoy agreed to permit destruction of millions of dollars in seized counterfeit goods. But destruction couldn't answer the harder question. How do you avoid buying fakes in the first place? 3 signals made the fakes easy to buy. A steep discount. The indictment put it at 60 to 88% below retail. A marketplace storefront, and packaging that said new, genuine, factory sealed. Use authorized channels for meaningful risk reduction in high-stakes purchases, never for an absolute authenticity guarantee. Before installation, validate the serial number with the manufacturer. For Cisco gear, through Cisco's official support channels. The indictment described counterfeit devices carrying serial numbers copied from genuine products. Treat holograms, plausible serials, polished listings, and professional seller identities as clues, never conclusive authentication. Treat an impossibly good price as an unanswered question demanding a credible explanation before purchase. Why? For businesses, buy from authorized sellers, confirm warranty eligibility, and validate device integrity before deployment. Officials called it one of the largest counterfeit trafficking operations ever prosecuted. Modern commerce runs on labels, and for 9 years, the labels won. Check yours. Would you have caught it? The full source list is in the description.